You walk into a room and immediately realize your dog has done something they should not have. Maybe they have chewed up your favorite pair of shoes, knocked over the kitchen trash can, or taken something off the counter that they know is strictly off limits. You catch them right in the middle of the act, or standing next to the evidence. You turn around, and without even thinking about it, you fix them with a long, firm, unblinking stare. You say their name, and you use that tone of voice. In response, your dog goes completely still, lowers their head, and looks up at you from the corner of their eyes. For generations, we have all been taught to call this the guilty look. We assume our dogs know they did something wrong and are feeling a deep sense of remorse. You probably think you were simply communicating your disappointment, but the sources reveal a profoundly uncomfortable truth. Your dog is having a completely different experience, and your natural reaction might actually be damaging the fundamental trust between you. To truly understand what is happening in this interaction, we first have to step back and look at how deeply your dog studies your face. Over 15,000 years of living alongside humans, dogs evolved an entirely separate set of social behaviors specifically tailored for us. They developed a unique ability to read human social cues that even our closest primate relatives cannot match. Scientists have discovered that when your dog looks at you, they naturally drift their eyes to the left side of your face first. This is known as the left gaze bias, and it happens automatically because the right side of the human brain, which processes emotion, controls the left side of the face. What is extraordinary is that your dog does this exact same thing exclusively with humans, not with other dogs. Because of this intense, evolved visual focus, your dog knows exactly what a human frown or an angry facial expression means without ever being taught. They're reading the micro-expressions in your face with a precision that took thousands of years of evolution to develop. Because they read your face so perfectly, we often assume they understand our complex human emotions, like moral disappointment. So when you catch them making a mess and lock eyes with them, you naturally believe you are delivering a parental lesson. However, according to the sources on canine social language, a sustained, direct, and hard stare is absolutely not a method of correction. It is actually a threat display. It is the exact same signal that a dominant animal uses in the wild to initiate a physical confrontation. Therefore, your dog's nervous system does not process your unbroken stare as a lesson in right and wrong. It processes that stare as a severe warning that something dangerous is about to happen. To a dog, you are not saying, "I am disappointed in your choices." You are saying, "I am preparing to attack you." This brings us to the actual anatomy of the famous guilty look. When you see that sudden freeze, the lowered head, and the careful upward glance, you are not looking at an animal experiencing guilt or admitting fault. Researchers have documented extensively that these physical reactions are actually survival-based appeasement behaviors. Your dog is utilizing their entire body language vocabulary to send you an urgent, specific message. Please do not escalate this. I am not a threat. I am trying to make this stop. It is an ancient de-escalation tactic designed to quickly diffuse tension with the person they rely on for their very survival. They are not apologizing for chewing your shoes. They are desperately trying to prevent a confrontation. They are trying to turn off the threat display you were projecting at them. Continuing to stare your dog down can have serious, long-term consequences for their mental health and your overall relationship. Research published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior has shown that dogs subjected to frequent aversive or confrontational interactions, even unintentional ones like a hard stare, develop significantly higher baseline anxiety levels. Over time, these dogs become less likely to voluntarily approach their owners in neutral situations. They aren't necessarily terrified of you, but they are forced into a state where they are never fully sure what version of you they are getting. An unpredictable environment is exhausting for a dog's nervous system. If an owner is warm and loving one day, but uses confrontational stares to manage behavior the next, that unpredictability is deeply unsettling. They cannot fully relax if they are constantly monitoring your mood to see if your next eye contact is safe. To fully grasp why this matters, the sources suggest considering the secure base effect. Researchers have found that a dog's favorite person is essentially the individual whose presence lowers their internal alarm and gives them permission to be brave and engage with the world.
When your dog chooses to sleep next to you, turning off their survival instincts and syncing their heart rate to yours, they do so because you are the safest place they know. When you weaponize your gaze and turn your face into a threat display, you are directly violating that sense of safety. You are taking the person they use as a secure base and temporarily turning them into a source of danger. Fortunately, the fix for this miscommunication is not complicated, though it does require breaking our own deeply ingrained human habits. The next time you catch your dog doing something they shouldn't, stop staring them down. Instead of looming over them or challenging them with your eyes, simply redirect them. Move calmly and use your voice to interrupt the behavior, rather than using your eyes to challenge the animal. The dog you truly want, one that is relaxed, open, trusting, and chooses to be near you, can only exist when their nervous system has decided it is safe to drop the constant monitoring. By dropping the myth of the guilty look and respecting their appeasement signals, you can protect their well-being and build a stronger foundation of trust. Your dog has been waiting their whole life for you to understand what they are actually trying to say. They have a rich vocabulary of body language, and they are constantly communicating with you. When you finally listen to their appeasement signals instead of projecting human guilt on them, you step into a completely new level of relationship with your dog. If this video gave you a new way of seeing your dog, or a moment that made you stop and think, hit like, drop a comment telling us what you learned, and subscribe so you don't miss out on what we're putting out next, because the more you understand your dog, the better life gets for both of you.